Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, please.
Sorry for that.
Good morning.
First of all, I would like to congratulate Mr. Kunal for launching such a wonderful platform, which is one of its kind. Uh, uh, I have, like Mr. Kunal showed me the demo, and I was really excited to see the kind of features it has. I like the portfolio feature, because as Kunal said, keep it simple and focused. So stock
Right.
picking, people needs to be good at, and in this fast changing
Mm.
market, for newcomers, there are a lot of filters. Like client can add in various stocks, and they can uh, bifurcate the stocks via various sectors or various industries, and they can dig deeper and explore and do the
Mm-hmm.
various analysis. The second thing is,
Mm-hmm.
I like much about it is a discussion board, because there will be a lot of analysts, lot of traders, lot of market veterans who would share their views about various trades, various sectors, or any other topic, and various investors like who are not much aware of the market. They can
Right.
filter filter things out of their interest, and they can see the analysis of various other people. So, and they
Mm-hmm.
can make out their views, and they can make the decision. So
Right.
lot of autonomy is there into the platform, and investor would surely get benefit out of it.
Right. Mr. Gupta, the platform doesn't give any recommendation about buying, selling, or holding a stock. The trend is purely generated based on the inputs from the participants, the social platform. Is it generally going to help investors? As most likely all would not be financial wizards. I mean, there's always a discrepancy, element of discrepancy there. So, what would you say about it?
No, because any investor, uh, he would be having a view of various people, like the plus and minuses of say a particular script. So
Mm-hmm.
he would be knowing what are the plus and what are the minuses regarding to a particular script, and he would be able to make up his own mind. Because investor,
Right.
at the end of the day, investor has to be educated. He should take an
Mm-hmm.
informed decision. So by seeing the
Mm-hmm.
view of other people, other research analysts or other veterans, he can make up his mind, and he can take his own decision.
Right. My second question would be for Mr. Gupta. Mr. Gupta, how do you find the platform, the ZoomStocks? How is it different?
Yeah, hi, good morning, Gitu. Thanks for
Good
having
morning.
me. And many congratulations to Kunal for coming up with this platform. So, I saw the demo version around a week ago, and I was quite impressed with the features which he has come up in this platform. So, as Kunal also said in the beginning, that there is too much noise now on the social media platforms, and you really don't know how, what noise or what
Hmm.
information to trust. So communication has become very key element while investing or even in the trading of the stocks. So the
Right.
messaging feature where you can interact with other users, and the users are both who are experienced in the markets and who are beginners in the market. Communicating them with via the direct messages, via the message boards which he has created, that is going to
Hmm.
be very helpful and interactive with the users. Also, the way he has constructed the blog section, you can use the hashtag links, which is a very
Right.
unique kind of feature in the market.
Hmm.
For all these leaderboards is there is a trending list which can help investors to keep up with the so-called in trend popular ideas. You can track multiple assets also through
Hmm.
that. So all that makes the platform much more meaningful and much more it can be better utilized by the retail investors.
Mr. Garg, yeah, Mr. Garg, there has been a retail rush in the equity market during COVID-19 lockdowns. Over 25 lakh plus accounts have been added in the last 3 months. We need to keep in mind before investing in equities, and these all investors are Robinhood investors. They have some bit of money in their hands, and they come and pour money into the stocks without even thinking what the company really does and what are the fundamentals of the company. How do you think Zoom Stocks is going to address, and how do you think Zoom Stocks is going to make them Atmanirbhar in selecting the right stocks?
Yeah, Gitu, like what I would say is that the new investor, they should be very cautious and they should take an informed decision. So they should not straight away jump into the speculation. What I would suggest that the new investor should ideally experience the market by investing into either ETFs or into some mutual fund, or they should come through a SIP route. And they
Mhm,
should keep on studying the market, keep on studying the fundamentals. So Zoom stock, like if we go to Zoom stock and he can analyze various messages sent by various analysts, and he can
mhm,
relate what is going on into the market. He can relate the things with the news, which is happening into the market, how the stocks are behaving as compared to the news, and on the news, what are the views of various waiters. So
mhm,
if a result of a particular stretch comes, then how the stock
mhm.
is behaving and what kind of views are coming. So they should, the new investor should first learn more and then take a informed decision.
Right, and the Zoom Stocks is going to offer them a big platform with all the services at one point of time. Kunal, let's get on to some live demonstration now on the main features of the product.
Absolutely, Geetu. I mean,
Yes.
everyone has waited so far for this moment, and let us, uh, unveil the product, how it looks to all the people watching our event and everyone across India who will be looking at it later on. So let me call it a curtain raiser, if you will, and let's go and check out our platform right away. So now I will put on your screen our homepage. So that will be the
Yes.
first glimpse to all the investors who have been eagerly waiting for that. And let's just do that. Can we have the screen, please? So just in a moment, we'll be getting that screen. So you'll be able to catch the first glimpse of how we have clearly distinguished ourselves with the current offerings in the market. It's going to be a very fresh breeze and a big break for everyone who's been looking for something really meaningful and that just puts them at ease to get the information they want. So that's high time, and we are just putting those visuals on the screen in a moment. So, meanwhile, I would also like to thank Ajay ji and Amit for the nice feedback they gave, and it's an important one as well because they are at helm of the investing world. They see it from a different viewpoint. Amit is like deeply ingrained into the research, and Ajay is having a hawk's eye at all the investors who are. Yeah, here we go. We have the both visuals on our screen. The, the team was slightly visible there. They have been working relentlessly to get these visuals to you. So, welcome everyone, and here we are. As you see, it's so simple. I mean, this is a break from what we have been seeing all along. I mean, just check out the recent photos that are available. This is like a fresh breeze. I mean, look at all these visuals. I mean, you have a very clean ticker at the top, and if I click on, if you do not want to wait for the sticker, just click on the list of the ticker, and all the stocks within that index will open up. There you go. That's the Nifty. If we scroll down, we can see all the stocks in the Nifty component so easily. And similarly, we go back up top, we can switch to Sensex, and anyone can view all the components of the index again at a touch of a button. So let's close that out, that window, and let's look at what investors are always looking for. They're always looking to know which stocks are doing the best, which stocks are doing well. So here we have a list of trending stocks, which is curated from many external inputs and internal metrics. that we track from our platform, and we bring to you all these stocks. So, and if you can see, you can quickly check between NSE and BSE charts at touch of a button. And if I hover my mouse on the chart, you can see different price points as well. It is so simple and easy. Okay, and to the right you can see calls of the day, which is a simple, uh, information, value-added information for everyone who's watching the platform, and real benefits from market investors' view. Now let's scroll down a little bit more, and let's see what do we have further down the homepage. So that's it. And here, let me demonstrate our powerful messaging feature which Anup also spoke about. If we, can we have the message box open, please? Can you click inside it? Thank you. So now let's see how powerful this feature is. If I type at DLF, we'll have that on our screen. At DLF, that is going to just tag in. If we type in our screen at DLF, in the main box in the center screen, please. In the main box, can we have a click and can we just type DLF there? Can we type at the rate DLF or any other stock name? Or can we use the tagging feature? Can you showcase that? Yeah, just please put any stock over there and just tag any of the users that are available on our platform. No worries, these are just some my team at work. They will bring out all those visuals to you which you have been waiting for. So kindly bear with us. So now what you can see here, it's so unique. We have color coded tagging on our platform. Now that feature itself is nowhere available globally. What is the benefit of it? The benefit is that investor can have a visual cue right away. Okay, that is whom they are talking to, and this is the asset we are discussing about. So things like that are very unique and powerful features because we can tell the fellow investors who you are interested in and the stocks that you are talking about in one single window. So if we post anything like that, can you post that message, please? Okay, great. So we can post those messages definitely. And now let's scroll down a little bit, please. Now you can see the messages from so many different users being visible in front of you. Can we hover the mouse on any user name? So these are the information cards of the users which are going to tell you guys how active they have been, what they have been doing, right? So this is important information in a nutshell. Similarly, can we hover on any of the stocks that we have tagged, please? Okay, there you go. So it's such a powerful, tool. So simple, useful for everyone. I know my stock, I know my sector, and I can also see what the platform is calling it, a buy or a sell, right? So these are very small but powerful features that people crave. Now to the left, we have a news board where you can see all the information submitted with the exchanges. So can we look at one of the news there? News and pieces there. Can we click on any of the news pieces to the left? There you go. So that's the information at touch of a button, and if I click it close, I'm back to the same screen. That's what I'm talking about exactly. Like how it makes your life easy and latest technology in making it easier to, and fun to navigate with, and it keeps you focused. That's our main goal, to keep you focused on doing what you want to do the best. Interact with people and find all information about you stocks and news in the market. So to the left and right, you will see a lot of leaderboards where popular users are highlighted and things like that. And if we move a little further up, can we? I would just like to show the top weekly features or the leading boards on our platform. There you go. So those are the messages, assets, and the users that have been trending on our platform for this week. They all will be highlighted here. So there's a chance for people to get highlighted based on the information and the contribution they bring to everyone on the ZoomStocks community. Now, let us go to a very important page. Let's go to the asset page, please. Can you click on any of the assets? Let's go to Reliance. Reliance Industries. Like that. Reliance Industries. Can we go to that stock page? There you go. And voila. What we have here is again a big break from what we see in the markets. Information for everyone and very fun to deal with. We can click on NSE BSE to get your prices. Touch of a button, investor convenience to get the information they want in the shortest of the time. To the right, we have a beautiful tool, which is a rate tool, which you see all across the world. But what's the difference? Let's click on rate here. Can we click on the rate? There you go. Now, let's say Reliance is a hard buy. Everyone is loving it these days. Let's move it to the left, full left, make it a full buy, and there you go. So you can submit your rating. Let's do that. Okay, great. Okay, and now let's try to rate it one more time. Let's see what happens. Can you rate it please again for us? Okay. And now what happens? What does it tell you? It tells you that you cannot submit your rating more than once a month. So there is again a disciplined, thought process that we want to ingrain into investor community. That you have been given these tools to empower yourself, but it's not a joke. You have to be very serious because people are going to be interacting with this platform and getting those values, and it will mean something to them. So we have tried to build a lot of fail-safe checks in place to protect, if you will say, the interest of the investor community. Least chances to get misled by these powerful tools they have. Can we move down, please, on the screen? Let's bring the whole information pane in the screen. There you go. So now you see how easy it is to look at. You just want your information and prices. It is right there. And let's look at the technical charts also, please. And there you go. It's just loading in a second, coming up on your screen. There you go. It's just loading up. And here you are. So if you can click on any indicators, they will drop down and you can select whatever indicators that you want. Can we click on the indicators? On the left on the menu, can we click on any indicators? Okay, so do not click anything please. So you can see here all the indicators that you want, MACD, stochastics, momentum, everything is there. Can you just click on MACD so we can show our users how it displays? There you go. And just scroll down a little bit so people can see the MACD chart. You can turn off the drop down. Scroll down so people can see the MACD. They have been waiting for all these glimpses. Go down, further down. Can we move the screen down a little bit? And then you can also see the events that everybody wants to see. When did the company declare their dividend, their bonus, their rights, their splits? Everything is there, right? And I'm very sure you must be enjoying these views because what all hassles you have to go through on current platforms for public. I know that. I've been a user, and that's one of the inspiring reasons for me to give India's investor community a platform which is built for them, keeping in their ease of use in mind. So just flip through all the informations that we have over here, if you will, one by one. Company snapshot. It will give you a whole view of the peer group, the mutual fund investment and everything. Go to the next one, please. And there are all your financials. We'll go down. We will have our profit and loss. Click on profit and loss, please. And that's it. And things like that. Can you move down? Move the screen down so we can look at the other sections. Move down, please. So, yeah, to the right, now we have here something called stock weather. So what is the stock weather? It's a beautiful tool. What does it tells you is how the stock has been doing on our platform, how the investors are interacting and talking about the stocks that are on the screen. And so that gives us a complete, concrete, one single point of view of the whole Indian investor community, their viewpoint crystallized in one single representation. How popular it is or how cold it is as an investment, you can just find it here. And you can even enter your price targets, which are to your left. This is a beta feature. We will be launching it a little bit later in the ZoomStock story. So where one can input what they feel as they have been tracking these stocks for such a long time. So they can have their say, and the community can tell people this is what they think the stock is going to be worth. Okay, and if we can move down a little bit more, please. So then you again have your message boards. Everything that is related to Reliance will show up here if the asset is tagged, if someone is talking about that stock, and everything, it is just going to reflect here, and you can look at what people are talking. And to the left, you can also see some of the polls that we will run to gauge again the sentiment value of the investors who are there on our platform. So we right now you can see the question over there. So people can participate, and then once it's over, one can again visualize that one crystallized single viewpoint. Let's go to the portfolios, please. Okay, so I really love this section. I think Ajay ji also spoke about this. So let's open. Let's try to create a new portfolio and see what I'm talking about. Can you open the portfolio builder? Can you open the create new? Okay, there you go. So what is the most defining feature here is people can create portfolios of different duration, and every duration based portfolio will automatically enter into our leaderboard contest. So the top winners, the top performing portfolios for a certain duration will be given that credit, and soon it's a secret I'm sharing with you. There will be prizes for that very soon. Okay. So now let's see how we can create it. So if we create in the asset box, we can in the asset box, if we click, we can just pick one of the stocks if we already know what we are talking about, or if there's a new investor and they do not know what stocks exist in the sector, so we can open that industry box, and there you can pick any industry. Can you please pick an industry? And then if I pick assets on the right, it will show me all the available assets in that industry. So now this is important because the new entrants in the market, even some old ones, they at times do not know what are the the various stocks in a sector. So again, they can assume a buy or a sell position for their portfolio, and then they can just hit their exit or discipline price, and that's it. Their portfolio is ready. If we scroll down a little bit, can you scroll down a little bit? And there you can see some portfolios configured. Uh, so Ajay ji and me, we had a bet that we will create a weekly portfolio and let's see who wins. So needless to say, Ajay has won this bet. So congratulations, Ajay. But Amit said that I am wanting to build a yearly portfolio, and he's doing it for cement stocks. So you can see how the cement portfolio is performing here. Can we have Amit's portfolio also? And can we open any of the portfolios so people can see what assets they were investing in? Can we open any of the portfolios to see the assets inside them? Can we open any portfolio to see the assets, please? Okay, no worries. I think there is some network connectivity issue over here. So, but anyways, once you click on those portfolios, you are going to see what's inside them. Now let's go to the blog section really quick. So here you go. This is our blog section, and this is so powerful. Our Indian investors do not have a parallel blog section like this ever. So what are blogs? They are like thoughts by experts and seasoned investors alike. And you can see the representation here is totally a change on its head. What people are used to read every day. So on the top we have some popular hashtags. If one clicks on it, it is going to display all the popular blogs that are trending on our platform, and they can just consume the content they are looking at. So scroll down please more. Scroll down more please, or click on the highlighted portfolio. And this is how simple it looks. The idea is to make life simple. You want to consume content, you want to know, you want to learn, you want to discover. We are here to give it you at the most convenient viewpoint that evokes your interest and keeps you focused. Scroll down please so people can see how the blog looks like. Scroll down now please. Go to the bottom, can we go? So this is all your content. You can have pictures within the blogs to express your viewpoints. And at the bottom, you have an option to comment. You can bookmark your blogs. You can share it on the social platform. So, then one last section I would also like to talk about is the market insight section. Can we go there? Market insights. Now, this is some information everybody looks for every day. Every day they are scouting sites, playing around with that complex tool. And here it is at again touch of a button. All they have to just click, click, click. They don't even change the screen, and it's just working like a charm for them. All the information in one place. Can we move down a little bit? And there you see. Can you click through some options? So people can take the first glimpse at how powerful this is and how meaningful it is to make their life easier. Click through all the options, please. Yes, there you go. Any index you want, top losers, top winners, at your fingertips. Keep moving down, please. And there you go. And now let's go to the next section, which is the news section. And there will be pre-market commentary for the people to prepare for the day as the session starts. Before the session starts, if someone wants to know more, if they are coming in the market from an intraday perspective, so this is immensely helpful information. So similarly, we'll be posting comments through the mid and the post session as well. Can you click on them, please? And can you click up article, please? And that is it. Just within a second, you know what's happening in the market in the mid of the day or at before the session launch. And can we move to the next section? Scroll down. Let's take a look at the next section, please. So now this section is about all the information that is disseminated to the exchanges, NSE, BSE, your rights, listing, bonus, dividends. All the information that everybody wants is again here, touch of a button. Let's look at the next section quick. And here we have, all the commodities from the MCX exchange for people who are interested in commodities. They can find what is the price of gold. If we can change one of the dates for the future, next to the go button. Yeah, click on it. Can you just select a different commodity so people can see, or just scroll down so we can see the chart? Scroll down. Yeah, there you go. So you can see the price of the commodity you are interested in and all the information there. And then the last thing we have to show is if you go down, which most of the people look forward to is holidays. I don't think brokers or fund houses look forward to this, but yes, we all love holidays, so you don't have to struggle a lot for that, and it's all there. Go back to the home page, and I think I have given a lot of overview to satiate the desire of our guests and all the people who have registered with us earlier and who have heard about ZoomStocks. And it's right there in front of them, our first live visuals. And I would like to go back to Geetu to shed some more light and carry through the session. Can we have Geetu back on the show with us? Can we go back on the show with Geetu? And I hope Ajay ji and Amit, they are with us patiently, and they must be, really relishing the glimpse of this and an opportunity to share our views and our beautiful platform with the investors, which is going to really, really benefit them, and they are going to dig it. Trust me, I know how I was struggling when I was trying to find information in 2016, 2015. No good platform to go to, no real good tools to play around with. And this thing, it is magic. Let me say, I love it. And I'm sure you will also love it. We have Geetu. Hi, Geetu.
Good work, Kunal. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
the
much.
quick demonstration. And I love some of the features of the Zoom stocks. Will surely spend time on your platform and explore more. Very good,
Thank you.
nice features.
Pleasure.
I would go to Mr. Gupta now. Mr. Gupta, there has been a smart recovery in markets, Sensex and Nifty bouncing from the March lows more than 50, 60% now. If we talk about the portfolio building exercise, and Zoom offers you a very good feature on building your portfolio. How do you think Zoom stocks is really going to help retail investors build diversified portfolios based on one's risk profile? Mr. Gupta, please unmute.
Okay.
Yeah,
In the recent fall in the March when the markets collapsed, many of the large cap stocks were at mouth-watering levels.
right.
So most of the FIs and the hedge funds actually invested in them. But within the Nifty, we have seen that one stock has taken bulk of the returns, the Reliance. So that has
Mm-hmm.
rallied like almost like 1,000 points in the Nifty. Otherwise, we would have been even substantially lower. So
Right.
what that has happened is that mid caps and small caps still have some way to go. So if
Mm-hmm.
you go by like historical valuations, then the Nifty mid cap is available at sort of a PE of 20, whereas it was at 100 PE at the January 2018 peak. So there
Okay.
are a lot of pockets in segments like pharma, specialty chemicals, IT, where there
Mm-hmm.
are opportunities to invest in what can possibly be the next growth leaders in the market. And Zoom stocks can, help to diversify because it does a risk profile of the investors, and it can help to tell which stocks are leading in a particular sector, and then
Okay.
investors can diversify their portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, the caution is that liquidity is driving a lot of these stock prices in the hope
Right.
that earnings will eventually come back over the next 2 3 years. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and the analyst community also is of the opinion that we are coming from a low base and single digit earning growth in the last
Mm-hmm.
5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So one need to be cautious and one need to do a due diligence before investing. And Zoom stocks will obviously provide a platform where you can actually discuss stocks with the similar minded people and then
Mm-hmm.
create a portfolio according to that.
Yeah. Mr. Garg, if I ask you that one single feature of Zoom stocks that you like the most.
Yeah, Jitu, I already told you that the portfolio is one feature like where the client can dig deep industry-wise. And
Mm-hmm.
second feature I liked was a discussion board where the analyst can or any trader can talk about any script and any other
Mm-hmm.
investor can view the same and can make his decision.
Mhm. Mr. Garg, like you said, the discussion board. In case of results, when we have a result season around, many of the investors don't understand the financials, and they cannot cull out the numbers from the balance sheet. So, will Zoom platform be a platform where analysts will come and talk about the results also and give their view on the specific stock moves?
Thank you so much, Deepu, for that question.
Yeah,
Back to
because the platform do have some kind of rating thing where they
Mm-hmm.
would rate that this is rated more. So
Right.
investors can come and can rely on the rated analyst or rated
Mm-hmm.
people, and
Mm-hmm.
they can make if there are a lot of information, the investor might get confused as well.
No,
So I
you
think this
being an
platform,
Mr. Garg, you being an analyst, I mean, you are
yeah,
heading, enterprise. Would you be interested in coming on Zoom stocks and and interacting with the people there?
yeah, because we do have our own research team, so my research analyst can come and can put their views
Okay,
on the.
right. Okay. Kunal, now that the Zoom stocks are online, what are your future plans? Any new interesting feature that you're working on to add further value to the investors?
absolutely, Deepu, absolutely. So this is just a start. Let me say that again. This is just a start. We
Mm-hmm.
if it will take us at least 5 years to unlock all the features that we have in our mind for the benefit
Mm-hmm.
of the investors, experts, and enthusiasts and everybody else. It's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
mind-boggling journey. People are simply going to love it. And let me tell you, when I look at the market offerings, I've been looking at them since 2010. I mean, I started my
Mm-hmm.
investing in 2005, and I bought Apple stock at that time.
Oh
I
wow!
sold it early.
So are you still
Yeah.
holding it?
I'm so, oh, no, no. So those are the sour grapes.
Uh-huh.
So the thing is that even Amit and Ajay ji will also agree to you also. I mean, there may be so many simple, unique features offered to all the investors, which can expand their horizon, and at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, all the service offering industry can benefit immensely from that. And I have been surprised why features of that kind are not being offered. Of course, I can't reveal it to you right now on the screen. That is our game
Mm-hmm.
plan. And it's going to revolutionize the industry on its head. I can promise you that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are seriously interesting times ahead. So stay tuned with us. We are also launching our app on both iOS and Android Play Store within a month. We'll be live, so people can just get their phones
Great.
out and get onto Zoom stocks.
That
So
that's
besides
a
that,
great news. That
yeah. There will be plenty of new features. Everything is just waiting in the wings. So be with us. Wait till 15th of August. Enjoy what we are going to offer, and just stay tuned. Your life is going to change as an investor or as an expert. Back to you, Neetu.
truly said. Now, Zoom stocks is all about stocks, and if we do not talk about markets, it would not be nice. And now I have two stock market guests with me, so let us quickly go across through to both of them and ask a few questions on the current state of markets. My first question will be for Mr. Gupta. Mr. Gupta, there's a dichotomy which is in the markets and the economy. Not that we were doing very well, in 2018-19, our economy was under pressure, but still we were growing. Now the things have there's a U-turn, and we are now listening of contracting between 5 to 10%, maybe between 0 to 5% by some of the analysts. Markets are driven by liquidity. Do you see more steam in the markets left, and why?
Right. So, you know, the thing is that what has changed in the global scenario is obviously, as you said, the liquidity. But we have to also see that the stance of Reserve Bank of India here also have changed. So they have also pumped out a lot of liquidity via very unconventional measures which they haven't taken in the past. So we have
Mm-hmm.
like Operation Twist, the OMOs which are happening. So this has pumped up a lot of liquidity, and we should not assume that stock markets are indicator of the actual economy. Ultimately, it is the top 50 stocks or top 50 companies in the economy which are leading the market. So as we have
Right.
seen, like Reliance has led actually the most of the gains in the Nifty from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The dichotomy has always been there. It has become much more pronounced because the weightage of certain heavyweights have gone up even further. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but as I said before, also there are growth pockets in certain segments which are
Mm-hmm.
still undervalued. They are not. They haven't run up so much. There are at a reasonable valuations,
Okay.
and the business is picking up because of the opening of up of the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever we see feel or where we see that this segment has been affected by the lockdown, but because of the opening of the economy it is coming back and started showing
Mm-hmm.
the earnings growth. I think that's the point where investors need to get in and start to look to invest in that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, Amit, let me add
Mr.
on to that.
Garg,
Just one
yes.
more thing, I would just like to add on something for Amit. So Amit, is it not fair to say it's utopia for the new investors great equity? It's a conundrum for the existing investors and a nightmare for the fund managers using one the current times. That's really true.
Uh,
Yes. Mr. Garg, we saw a very good traction in IT space, and as Kunal is from the IT sector itself, he must be knowing it. Now, when there's a bit of volatility in the stock market, some of the defensive spaces get more attention of the investors. Now, IT space is one of them, which has got good traction. TCS, Infosys have been doing very well. Any of the stocks in IT space that you like the most, and what is the future that you see for the IT sector?
Yeah, this in my opinion, like the worst is over, and at the end of the day, like you have to look at the speed of the normalization, which is different in
Mm-hmm.
different sectors. So you see, in this unprecedented pandemic, like because pharma and FMCG sector, you are
Mm-hmm.
seeing that there is a good uptrend, and the IT comes next because IT sector,
Okay.
uh, which I expect will pick up in next 2 to 3 quarters, and
Mm-hmm.
like, uh, there should be a good traction into IT sector because the work from home is very much picked up by the IT sector, and it is a
Right.
new normal. Yeah, it has affected very less into IT sector, and they might be able to reduce their cost drastically, and it
Mm-hmm.
might change the dynamics of the complete IT sector.
Right. Kunal, one question for you because you have been tracking global markets. So, what is your view now? I mean, we have elections in US shortly. What should
Yeah.
be expected?
So let me answer your question differently. So you said yes, we do track global markets, and that's additional benefit that people get when they get on the ZoomStocks brand because we have been covering the whole of Australia, Asia, Europe, and America since 2016. We bring very sharp inputs from daily stock news, the market buzz, and every economic stat that is released across all of these stock nations. So anybody who is with us, they'll be able to stay on top of global moves, and that's important. It's a global village. Now, if I come to global markets, you can see the German bonds. Amit must be knowing this as well. The German bonds, they were all around like 0.75%. Now they're down to 0.5%. All this fluctuation happened between mid March to today. Even the US yields, they were plus 2%, and today they are trading at, I think, about 0.7%. And that big hit, the big up spike in
Mm-hmm.
the yields happened again in mid March. We all know the
Mm-hmm.
food has been struggling to hold its foot. But today it's, I should say, thankfully, hovering around the $44 mark. So that's a decent sign. One can think that the economy is stabilizing. Now look at the story of US dollar, where it has been. It has come from all the way from 102 to 93 on the dollar index across all the basket of other currencies combined. And if you talk about Europe, that is one area you see a huge hit in the luxury segment. That's because the
Mm-hmm.
tourism from China has been severely compromised, right? So there's a huge impact, not just the US elections, in particular this coronavirus, as crippled the economy. And what's projected for the US and the Europe for this year as well is anywhere from -6% to -10% of the GDP growth. Those are
Mm-hmm.
astoundingly deplorable numbers. So, we are not looking at a happy picture. But
Mm-hmm.
I think good times are here as the vaccines are in the good stage. But again, I would say one has to, it's like a tightrope walking. One has to be really careful because what's happening in the debt world and what's happening in the equity market, it's going in the same direction. The demand is off the roof, and that is not a good sign if you ask me. I'll be very, very, very
Okay.
cautious. So one has to be
Uh-huh.
really cautious on that front. And US elections are a big unknown quantum. Ajayji, I think you must be keenly trying to keep up with that. So yes, that's a big unknown. What happens with Mr. Trump and who's going to head the economy, the most powerful one, that's going to have an impact on the markets
Mm-hmm.
globally. Back to you.
Yeah, Mr. Gupta, now that we have spoken about the international markets, Kunal has given a very decent brief about what should expect and how the markets are moving worldwide. Let's talk about our financial system, the banks. It is always said that जब तक बैंक्स नहीं चलेंगे तब तक मार्केट नहीं चलेगा और कुछ समय से बैंक्स ही नहीं चल रहे हैं बैंक्स के शेयर ही नहीं चल रहे सो
Right,
moratorium
right.
which is going to end by the end of this August, low credit offtakes and rising NPAs because of the moratorium of 6 months. I hope the moratorium is not extended. If it's extended, then it will be a big hit to the banks. But if it's not extended, still the demand is less, the credit offtake is less, and you have a bit of rising NPAs. What should be one's stance on this sector as such? I would like you to please speak on the private sector and the public sector, the PSU banks and the private banks separately.
Good
Okay.
question.
Okay. So we have touched upon three things here. One is the moratorium, second is
Yeah.
the low credit offtake, and third is the rising NPS. So I would like to take a step back and understand what happened when the lockdown was announced. So this RBI gave a moratorium of 3 months, which was again extended for by a couple of months till 31st August. So no, a lot of people actually did not understand the word moratorium. So the feedback from the ground which we got was that because there was a no Hindi word for moratorium, a lot of people was not
Right.
able to actually understand what exactly it is, and they
Very true.
opted for it. They opted for it thinking that they don't have to pay any money for the considerable period of time, without
Very true.
realizing that the interest would actually keep piling on. So
Mm-hmm.
later on, the banks obviously clarified, and then the repayment increased. But if you look at the largest top five banks, private banks,
Mm-hmm.
largest 4 5 banks, then the provisions were very large in the first couple of months. Almost 40 45% of provisions were there. But because now
Right.
people there is more education, so people have started repaying, and the provisions have come down to about 8 10% now at currently. Similar,
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, as you have said, that the credit offtake has been languishing for quite some time, and that has got nothing to do with Corona. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
in the second half of July, we had the lowest credit offtake in the last 10 years. So
Right.
banks are just become risk averse in this uncertain environment, and they don't
Hmm.
want to lend very aggressively. And let's not just talk about banks. Even the consumers have become cautious with the loss of
Hmm.
jobs, pay cuts. The credit
Hmm.
card debt has fallen 10% in the last quarter. So people are
Hmm.
not even using the credit cards anymore.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
using less. So many of the banks have also decreased their credit card limits depending on the borrower profile, their discretionary spend, and the kind of repayments they are making. So this is, I
Hmm.
think, this is all part of a like larger economic cycle. We are still seeing lockdowns happening in many states, and the economy is not fully opening up. So
Right.
I think once we are fully on, then you'll probably see a more aggressive approach from the banks to lend more. But right now they
Hmm.
are very cautious.
Hmm.
So as far as the NPA cycle is concerned, there are bound to be issues. There are certain sectors which are majority either they completely shut down or they're partially shut down. So aviation is
Yeah.
partially running, the hospitality and
Hmm.
the tourism is hardly running. So
Hmm.
for them, obviously, RBI earlier in this week have come up with a restructuring plan. They have set up a committee under KV Kamath, and they will be
Hmm.
coming up with the restructuring rules in the next 1 month. So we
Right.
need to see how much the NPAs is going to be a problem for the banks. But I don't expect the banks to ramp up lending to these businesses which are shut down
Hmm.
immediately when they open up. So as the demand goes up, then there'll be a chance to increasing the lending to them. My sense is that
Okay.
the small and the mid cap banks, there could be a case of underreporting of the NPA loans also. So they need
Okay.
probably more time to make provisions. So
Okay.
that's where the major issue could be. Could be.
Hmm.
Uh, as far as the markets are concerned, with the respect to the banks, I think the change has already happened. Uh, we have seen
Okay.
uh, we have seen in the mutual funds industry a lot of churning of the portfolios has already happened. They have sold financial services, weightage has come down in the mutual
Hmm.
funds, and they are
Hmm.
buying other segments where the earning growth is much better. So IT, pharma,
Hmm.
chemicals are where they are buying.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think the biggest downside could be to the PSU banks because they are still relatively lending aggressively in the sense that most of the PSU schemes which the government has launched under Atmanirbhar Bharat, they are
Hmm.
lending to that. There
Hmm.
could be a big chunk of NPAs coming from those that lending in the next
Hmm.
12 to 18 months.
Right. Kunal, see now, Mr. Amit Gupta spoke about moratorium. People did not understand the basic, definition of moratorium, and they had to face the consequences. Now, Zoom platform, when it will be launched, so when this kind of a situation arises, because of the interactive platform and the people interacting with each other, the definition of the moratorium will come out more clearly, and people would be having access to really. I mean, that is where your platform will really help. People understand the basics of the stock markets and basics of the term like moratorium. Nobody knew. Everybody thought that 6 months nothing has to be paid, and then from the
Absolutely.
seventh month you will pay your own EMI that was due. But that was not the case. You have to pay for the entire 6 months, not that monthly installment that you used to pay, but in bulk you have to pay after the 6 months are completed. So now your platform should discuss these kinds of things to make things and definitions clear to the people. Now I'll ask a last question to the guest, Mr. Garg. What is glittering nowadays is gold and silver. सिल्वर पहले तो कुछ नहीं चलता था, तो गोल्ड, हाँ गोल्ड, बिकॉज वी आर फैसिनेटेड विद ऑल gold in the world that Indians are holding. But silver is doing very well, and the other metals too. Platinum is also doing very well. So, what is your take on bullions, gold, silver, and the platinum? What should one do at these levels?
Jitu, you rightly said that in this time of pandemic, almost all the metals have gone down drastically, and now we've seen some recoveries. But gold, the Indians were very much fascinated about it, and after gold, silver followed the same suit. So, but the current buying is a result of diversification in asset class by the investor at large, and I
Hmm.
think it will continue a little bit. As per SMC research outlook, both
Okay.
gold and silver are overbought, but there might be some more uptrend. It might the silver might touch 79,000 to even 80,000, and gold
Okay.
might touch 57,000. But we foresee that it should settle down the like gold between 52 to 53,000 levels, and silver at
Okay.
71,000 to 70,000 levels.
Mr. Garg, what should one do with the companies like Matut Finance and the companies who are into gold financing business? Do you think the future is good for them?
So you see, any good company, because a lot of small caps and mid caps, which has been discounted by the investor, and they are below the fair value, one should
Hmm.
uh, see the fundamentals, and then they should invest, because
Right.
even in financing companies, uh, there might be some pitfalls, so investors should be aware of that, and he should invest cautiously.
Great.
Okay. Kunal, we have a set of questions and queries which have come in on our platform. Let's go through
Oh,
them
that's
now.
wonderful. That's very
The
wonderful.
first, yeah, and the first question is from Vishal, who says, "How will I get to know how my portfolio is performing? Will I have to check manually all the time?"
Okay, okay, I'm very happy that people are keyed into our program and enjoying it, and really looking forward to our features because that is a very pinpointed question. Let me give it that. So, dear Vishal, yes, you do not, you are free. You are free as a bird to check it as many times as you want. But what we
Mm-hmm.
do bring is direct notifications to you through your apps or to your platform, I mean, to the ZoomStocks platform once you log in. So, like, periodically throughout the day, like two times, three times, or four times, you are going to be receiving notifications about the overall performance across all of your portfolios, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really important. And then if there is a specific pulse, a specific swing a big swing in any of the components of anyone's portfolios, so
Hmm.
that will also push out a notification to you, so you are more alert
Okay.
when something is rebalancing your portfolio heavily. There you go.
Okay. One more question is from
Yeah.
Alka, who says,
Okay.
it's a public welcome all place. Will I be able to choose who talks to me?"
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. We understand that, and that's a very respectable question, and it concerns about the privacy. Yes. So if you feel that a certain user is not as per your liking, or their point to you are like
Mhm.
not meaningful, you can just go to their profile page, and then you can just simply click and choose to bar either a direct message from them, or you can simply block them off completely. So yes, you are in control who makes contact with you, and that's important because we are all about
Mhm.
investors, respect for them, and a safe place for them.
Okay. Another
Yeah.
question is from Mr. Suresh Gupta, who says, "Can I write my own blogs and do I have to pay for that?"
Oh no. It's a Saturday and you're enjoying the weekend. No, you do not have to pay a single penny for writing anything on our platform. But yes,
Mhm.
you are there on our platform, which is visible to all the masses. So we have some sanity checks that we will, push on your blogs and ensure the content is of quality and of usefulness to our investor community. So yes, you can
Mhm.
just write freely what you want and share it with us. If it qualifies, we will just push it out, and you don't have to pay anything for that.
Okay. Another question is from Sunita, which is, she is asking, "I just caught a glimpse of suggested assets. What is that?"
Oh, I can't be more happy to see how people have been watching this platform in such a short time. Yeah,
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah.
So suggested assets is a unique step in the direction to make investors more aware of investable opportunities and stocks in a particular sector or the stocks which they are tracking already. So we, key a lot of metrics on that information, and our
Mm-hmm.
internal logics push some more stocks in, they are that align with the investor's view and push it in front of them
Mm-hmm.
so they can check out those investment opportunities as well.
Mm-hmm. One more, I think, last question I have, which says that the rating of assets, as you call stocks and commodities, it's purely ZS users. What is that?
I'm sorry, I missed the last part of the question.
The rating of assets on your call stocks and commodities, it's
Yeah,
purely ZS users.
ZS.
Users.
Okay, rating is yeah. So okay, so they must be saying ZS for ZoomStocks. People are
Oh,
already using podcasts.
so it's
So
ZS. We should call it ZS.
yeah. So absolutely, it is to empower the investors. The platform is for investors and amplify their voice, their perspective, and their viewpoints. So most of
Mm-hmm.
it is going to be based on what they are seeing, and then of course they are tied into the stock market. So we have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And some metric quantity out of it will be given to the market. So it's a crystallized
Mm-hmm.
view of the market and more heavily so for the investor.
Mm-hmm. So, Kunal, Zoom Stocks is going public on August of 15th. Do you
Yeah,
have any early bird offers, some offers that you would like to share with our participants?
yeah, we have been sharing. We have already we have already passed out silver memberships to almost 50 plus guests who have registered with
Okay.
us in the last 2 months. And yes, there is a
Mm.
surprise. So from today till the launch of the platform, lucky 10 users are going to get some special giveaways when they register on our
Mm-hmm.
platform. So yeah, there are goodies for everyone. For everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
It said an idea held in an open hand can evolve. Zoom Stocks is here for all of us, and you explore, learn, and evolve, and be Atmanirbhar. As we end today's event, I would like to thank you all for joining me here and joining me for the launch of Zoom Stocks. Mr. Garg, Mr. Gupta, thank you for being with us. Thanks a lot for sharing your views on the Zoom stocks and also commenting on the stock markets.
And
Thank
before we
you.
go, I have a message for all the people who are listening to the program.
Mm-hmm.
It's an important one and it's something I feel deeply. So I would like to dedicate this platform to all the people of India because they are the
Right.
of drive and power that we need to get to this point. I would
Hmm.
like to thank the Almighty also for giving us an opportunity to bring something so vital for our country when we are struggling with the Chinese apps and other things. Here is something India, made in India, for India, and
Right.
something that we can proudly share with the rest of the world. This is what we have, and again,
Yes,
it's
made in India
dedicated.
and made for Indian investors.
Yeah, Atman has no, and this thing is dedicated to all the people who have served for the country and everyone who has put in a brilliant effort, relentless effort to make this country what we are
Yeah.
today. We will excel.
Kunal, now more responsibilities on your shoulders as Zoom Stocks goes online. Wish you all the best, all luck, all success in
Thank you.
times to come. Thank you, participants, for your patience and understanding. Take good care of yourselves, stay safe, keep learning. Thank you and goodbye.
Namaste. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Namaste.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thanks.
Bye.
Namaste.
Bye.
Thank you.